Good morning, students. Today we'll start with our third unit. Okay. First, we'll start with what is circuit switching and packet switching. Okay. Whenever if we have a transmission of data between the sender and receiver, the data can be transmitted with some techniques. Okay. Now we'll start learning about what is circuit switching and what is packet switching. Okay. Here, like first we should know what is meant by the switching techniques. Okay. Here in large networks, there will be here whenever if we have a transmission between the sender and the receiver, okay, here like whenever if we have multiple paths can be there between the transmission of data between the sender and the receiver. Here, the switching technique will decide the best route for the transmission of data, okay. And mainly this switching technique is mainly used for the communication between the sender and receiver. Here it should be always the one-to-one transmission. Okay, now in this block diagram, it will explain you here what are the different types of switching techniques. In the exam point of view also, if you draw the diagram, it will be helpful for you for the marks point of view. Okay, and here in switching techniques, we have three different types of switching techniques. One is circuit switching, another one is message switching, and packet switching. In circuit switching, it is divided into two types. One is the space division switches and time division switches. Okay, and as per our syllabus, we have to learn thoroughly about this packet switching. Okay, in this packet switching also we have datagram approach as well as the virtual circuit approach. And in this virtual circuit, we have the switched virtual circuit as well as the permanent virtual circuit. Okay, now we'll start learning about with what is meant by circuit switching. Here, this circuit switching is a switching technology. Okay, simply we can say it is a switching technique which is just a path between the sender and the receiver. Here it is just a path between the sender and the receiver. Okay, and in this circuit switching technique, once the connection is established, okay, then then the dedicated path will remain to exist until the connection is terminated. Okay, here with this circuit switching, once the connection has been established, then the transmission of data will be helpful. Okay. And in circuit switching in a network, it operates in a similar way as a telephone network. And in circuit switching, it is a complete end-to-end path that must exist before the communication takes place. Okay. And here, like how the data will be transmitted in the circuit switching. That means there will be here, we have three different phases. One is a circuit establishment. Another one is the data transfer. Next, the circuit disconnect. Okay, that means here the circuit is going to be established between the sender and the receiver. Okay, the circuit is going to be established between the sender and the receiver. Okay, and it is going to check for the number of paths, and the best way it is going to check for the transmission of data between the sender and the receiver. Okay, here the path has been established like this. Now just see here. Once the circuit has been established, then the data is going to be transmitted. Once the data transmission has been completed, then the circuit is going to be disconnected. Okay, this is called as a circuit switching. Now we'll learn about what is meant by packet switching. See here, whenever if you have the circuit switching as well as in packet switching, but the main theme is what here we have the transmission between the client and the server. Okay. And here the packet switching is a switching technique in which the messages are sent in one. Okay, that means here the messages are transmitted as a small pieces of information, between the sender and the receiver. Okay, and here just see here, like here the message splits into smaller pieces known as packets, and the packets are given a unique number to identify the order at the receiver end. Okay. Now here every packet contains some information. Here I have drawn. Here every packet contains the information. Every packet contains some number is going to be given for each and every packet for the transmission of data. Okay. And you just see here, like every packet contains information in its header, such as a source address, destination address, as well as some sequence number. Okay. And the packets are going to be transmitted in a path. And here, same as we have created a path for the circuit switching, here for packet switching also, it is going to create one path. Okay. And the best path it is going to check for the transmission of data. Understand here how the approach is going to be done here. Here 4, 3, 2, 1. That packets is going to be transmitted one after the other to reach in a proper order. Okay. It is called as a packet switching. And here, like in packet switching, the two approaches are what we have: datagram packet switching as well as virtual circuit switching we have. In datagram packet switching, what happens here? The data is going to be divided as a packets, okay? And we are going to call each and every packet as a datagram. And here it is considered as a independent entity, okay? And each packet contains information about the destination switch, and this information to forward the packet to the correct destination it is going to be transmitted, okay? Now here the packets are reassembled at the receiving side and the correct order. Okay. That means, for example, I have forwarded 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it was received into 4, 2, 1, 3. It will be, if it receives in this order also, then it is going to be reassembled as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now the datagram packet switching technique is, the path is not fixed. Okay. And here the datagram packet switching is also known as a connectionless switching technique. Okay. Now here, now the next one what we have is the virtual circuit switching. This we can also call it as a connection oriented switch. Whenever if we have this datagram, that is a connectionless. Okay. Datagram packet switching is also known as a connectionless switching. And whenever if you are learning about the virtual circuit switching is a connection oriented switching. Okay. And in this case, the virtual circuit switching is a pre-planned route is established before the messages has been sent. Okay. That means here it is going to send some call request and the data is going to be transmitted. Okay. See here, the call request and call accept packets are used to establish a connection between the sender and the receiver. Okay. Whenever if we have a datagram, it is a connectionless. But whenever if we have a virtual circuit switching means it is a connection oriented circuit switching. In this we have a sender and receiver will be there and the data is going to be transmitted. And before the transmission of data, the circuit is going to be formed. Okay. And next here, in this, just see here the call request, then the path is going to be generated, then the data is going to be transmitted in this format. Okay. Next here, see the diagram explanation. Now here the advantages of packet switching are, it is a cost effective as well as reliable. In packet switching technique, the switching devices do not require any massive secondary storage to store the packets. Okay. And here, that means why it is cost effective means it is not going to store the packets. That is the reason it is cost effective, as well as if any node is busy, the packets can be rerouted. Okay. If any node is busy, the packet can be rerouted. This ensures that the packet switching provides a reliable communication. Okay. And this packet switching is also efficient. Why? Because here the packet switching is an efficient technique. It does not require any established path, okay, to the transmission, and many users can use the same communication channel, okay, and it makes use of the available bandwidth very efficiently. Now here, what are the disadvantages of packet switching? This technique cannot be implemented in those applications that requires a low delay, okay, and for the high quality services as well as for low delay, it will not accept, okay. And the protocols used in this packet switching technique are very complex and it requires the high implementation cost. And it requires a high implementation cost. Okay. And if the network is overloaded or corrupted, okay, then the retransmission of lost packets will require. Okay. That means here, if the lost packets has been done, then retransmission is needed. Okay. It can also lead to loss of critical information if errors are non-recovered. Okay. Thank you.